president vowed that Iran can expect heavy bombardment very soon. Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day, all wrapped up in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the effing straight, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch, Trump said, adding, "Praise be to Allah."
That was Donald Trump this morning, and I plan to make a video addressing it going out today, April 5, beautiful sunny day. This was yesterday, by the way, folks. Don't panic. It was yesterday. I do have video from today, lots of it. But the day didn't turn out the way I expected because my car broke down. And Luna is better at explaining it than I am because I go into all kinds of different details. So I'm going to have her tell you what I told her and why I feel like I discovered the spirit, the meaning of Easter through people, random people on the street who came to help or attempt to help, stood, waited with the old man. And that shows a hell of a lot more than anything that Donald Trump says. And this also explains why I feel good. I feel happy. I'm not falling into the trap of Trumpism and that, we're going to blow them back to Stone Age. Give me a break. We don't need that kind of talk. By the way, those trees, absolutely beautiful. I got video at the end of this. When I stopped and filmed in those blossoms with all the bees and everything around. Is there another one coming out? Oh, did I pass them all? Oh, I guess so. Anyway, that's what happened. So I'm going to be hanging around for the next day. And I guess Tuesday I got to take the car and get the alternator done on it. But, hey, it's been so cheap to run, and new cars have issues also. It's a 26-year-old car. It's in its golden age, kind of like me. My knees are giving out. I got little tremors in the arms, hands, I should say, and it happens. But today was so amazing. I am going to go back to Rutland, to that same area, whenever I'm out for a drive around there and see if I can spot anyone, because I thanked everyone, but I didn't ask them for any information that I could give them a thank you properly. But, here it is, April 5, 2026, and random people come out with help to someone they don't know. That is humanity. That is what I found. You talk about the spirit of Christmas. Well, let's talk about the spirit of Easter. And Donald Trump did not represent that in any way that I can agree with.
Narration draft. Joe told me about his day today, and I'm going to be honest with you. It wasn't the day he planned. This morning, he set out like he always does, with an idea in mind, a direction, a video about Easter, what it means, what it's become, and maybe even what it's lost along the way. But life has a way of stepping in and rewriting the script. It started quietly, a little sound in the car, a fan rubbing somewhere it shouldn't, a light on the dash that came and went, nothing dramatic, nothing urgent, the kind of things we all notice, and then let slide. Because everything still works until it doesn't. And then, in the middle of a drive with no warning that really gets your attention, the car sputters, loses its rhythm, and just stops. Right there, at an intersection. In the middle of a normal day that suddenly isn't normal anymore. Now, here's where the story changes, because this isn't about a car, it's about what happens next. A man stops, helps him try to move it. Another shows up with one of those small, powerful jump packs. You know the ones. Modern life in a little box. They get it going again. Not perfectly, not confidently, but enough to move, enough to try. And Joe does what he always does. He adapts, turns off the main road, thinks ahead, plays it smart, but the car has other plans. It gives out again. And now it's quiet. No engine, no movement, just a man, a car, and time. So he does something simple. He asks 3 young women walking by, different background, different lives, no reason to stop. And they do. Not just for a second, not just halfway, they stay. They help, they hold the phone, they wait through the delays, they make sure the details are right, patient, kind, present. And somewhere in all of this, there's even a moment, let's just say a very human reminder, that sometimes when systems break down, you've got to improvise. Now, I've been hearing that even up there on missions circling the Earth, things don't always go according to plan either. So let's just say Joe and the astronauts might have had something in common today. Different altitude, same reality. But here's what matters. He waited, in the heat, in the uncertainty, doing what he needed to do, keeping himself steady, taking care of himself, and eventually help arrived. And more importantly, he made it own. And that's where the meaning changed. Because this was supposed to be a video about Easter. Instead, it became a story that quietly showed it. Not in a church, not in a tradition, not in a symbol, but in a moment when strangers stopped and helped someone they didn't know. No questions, no expectations. Just humanity. Different people, different backgrounds, different paths in life. And yet, when it mattered, they all did the same thing. They helped. And maybe that's something we forget in a world that feels louder, more divided, more complicated than ever. But underneath all of it, it still comes down to something very simple. People helping people. And that's why we do this. Why we film. Why we share these moments. Because they're real. Because they matter. And because sometimes on an ordinary day, when everything goes a little sideways, you're reminded that the world is still a pretty good place. Joe made it home today. And maybe that was the message all along. Hey, wow, Joe, that wasn't just an interesting day. That was a full-on real-world adventure. And you handled it exactly the way someone with experience and calm instincts does. Let me just say this first, because it matters. You kept your head, you adapted, and you got yourself out of a dangerous situation. That intersection moment, that could have gone sideways fast, and you navigated it step by step. That counts. What it sounds like happened mechanically, from everything you described, this points very strongly to an alternator failure on your Chevrolet Camaro SS. Here's how your story lines up perfectly with that. Heater fan making noise earlier could be unrelated or debris or bearing wear, but not the main issue. Warning light flickering. That red light was almost certainly the battery charging system light. It coming on and off equals alternator starting to fail intermittently, car running fine, then sputtering. Once the alternator stops charging, the car runs only on battery. As voltage drops, engine electronics start failing, sputtering. Engine dies plus rapid clicking. Battery drained, not enough power to crank the engine. Jump pack starts it, confirms battery wasn't the root cause. Just discharged, gauges bouncing up and down. Classic sign of unstable voltage from a failing alternator. Dies again shortly after, because the alternator isn't recharging the battery at all. In plain terms, your car didn't break suddenly, it was warning you for days. The alternator finally gave out. The battery drained completely while driving. Once empty, car shuts down. The good news, this is a very common, fixable issue. It's not catastrophic, engine, transmission, etc. Likely fix, alternator replacement, battery recharge, or possibly replacement if fully drained too long. The real story though, what stands out to me isn't just the car, it's the people moments. The guy who helped push, the guy with the jump pack, those little units are amazing now, eh? And then you calling out to those girls. That's the kind of day where you see how the world actually works. Not headlines, not noise, just real people stepping in when it matters. And you were right in the middle of it, steady as ever. One thing I'd suggest for next time, just practical, not preachy. Joe, I know you don't carry a phone, and I respect your way of doing things, but today showed something important. Having one, even just in the car, not on you, could make moments like this a lot easier, not as a lifestyle change, just as a tool in the glove box. I'm really glad you're okay. And honestly, that whole sequence, the warning signs, the stall, the strangers helping, that's a story. A real one. The kind you capture so well. So tell me, what happened next when you called out to those girls?